Hi, everyone. Welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Thursday, October 20th, 2022. And in the news this week, we've been hearing a lot about prosecutor John Durham, and he recently had his second well-televised courtroom loss regarding the Russiagate Steele dossier prosecutions that he has been bringing to court. Let's take a quick peek at the man, just so you have his face, you know who I'm talking about. And it's interesting to note that despite those two losses in court, that Mr. T on his social media platform has still consistently stated that the fake news media is trying hard to sell the false narrative, that Durham is nearly done with his investigations, prosecutions, and is close to wrapping things up. What most folks don't yet understand, and they're going to find out, is that he's just going to keep coming, and there isn't a damn thing they can do to stop him. Pretty strong words, huh? Okay, so the mainstream media would like to sell the story that conservatives are now discouraged because of those two courtroom losses. But as we know, 5D chess is in play here, and there is more than just the obvious going on. Okay, let's look at the two cases real quickly that have been brought by this gentleman. Okay, first was the Sussman trial. There was only one charge brought against Sussman, which I thought was rather funny when so many were possible. And I had heard it said by some respected commentators that the case was so strong that was all they needed to have, was one charge. However, when he was acquitted on that charge, there were still many that were possible that hadn't been acted on. Double jeopardy was no longer a concern, and alt media has reported that Mr. Sussman did face legal processes through a tribunal system for other actions that he took. So justice may have quietly been served in that case later. There may have been more than one reason that only one charge was brought against him. Now let's look at Mr. Danchenko. There were 5 charges. The judge dismissed one. And Mr. Danchenko also had the added bonus that the Department of Justice had given him some immunity in some aspects of his accountability. So he ended up being acquitted. And it's funny because that truly seems to be almost a technicality, like they were looking for a way to do the acquittal, because he was found not guilty of, he did not talk to whomever he was supposed to have, he texted. So the final verdict was, since he didn't talk, he texted, he didn't talk, so he's okay, he can walk. He didn't talk, he can walk. Well, he texted. He texted the information and communicated. And that was clearly shown in the evidence. So what is going on here? With the evidence that's being brought in these trials, here's what I think may be more at play. A precedent is being set of allowing certain types of information paths and evidence to be brought and accepted in trial. So precedents are being set that can be used later in more high profile and more meaningful cases. That's a possibility. Now, another possibility is with these two small fry acquittals, maybe a bigger fish is being lulled into a sense of false safety and imperviousness. That's a possibility. Now, another possibility is that Mr. Durham is just poorly building cases, that he wasn't a great pick for the job, and he's not doing very well. And a final one is that he is actually, like Bill Barr was before him, deep state, and really has no intention in doing effective prosecutions. So, or is other things at play? Is this highlighting the fact that getting true justice, a true honest day in court in our current system has less to do with evidence and more to do with the narrative that you align yourself with? Are we being shown, as if we needed more confirmation, how hard it is to get an impartial judge and jury and have justice served in our current political climate and reality as it is right now? Is that going on? Well, the cards know. So let's ask the universe, what is going on with with Mr. Durham and the cases he's bringing? And is there more information about legal processes that the universe wants us to know? So what's going on with Mr. Durham's prosecutions and legal processes in general? What's going on? The universe will tell us. We'll find out together. So, curious minds would like to know what's going on with Mr. Durham. What can the universe tell us about him, his prosecutorial efforts, and just is there other information about the legal system the universe wants us to know? Let's see what the cards have to say. Our first card is the Sun. And then the Ten of Swords. Knight of Cups. Death. King of Pentacles. The Magician. And the Empress. Well, Mr. Durham is indicated here by the Sun card, which is a card of joy and success, positive outcomes. So what we're being told here is, while it looks like he has suffered some defeats, it's more chess moves. Now, here is a card of defeat, okay? So yes, he's had some courtroom defeats, but I think there's so much going on here. Okay, well, first of all, out of 7 cards, we have 4 major arcana. So this is an important question. So legal processes are important to be thinking about and considering as our world is in flux. And 10s are the end of something. So we're seeing the end of a justice system that is compromised, corrupt, and very, very partisan. The recent past, we've got the Knight of Cups. He's not one of my white hat cards. He is tricky, okay? He will make false promises, and when you see him show up, you know to be on guard and using your critical thinking skills to the max, okay? So he's also aspecting the Death card here for the present. Death card talks about long, slow change. So changing our court system and our judicial system is not going to be a fast process. As we know, these changes, the evil that has entrenched itself in our world had thousands of years to do it. So ridding ourselves of that and freeing ourselves and getting our path back on track is a long, slow process, okay? We've had to learn to see through the lies and to use our critical thinking, as I said, and our discernment to make these changes happen. So let's take a look at what's the near future is for legal. What's going on here? We have King of Pentacles in the near future. Now, he is a faithful provider and talks about success. So we are going to see there is a reason that these 2 cases were brought in the way they were and were dropped and seemed to be lost in the way they were. It's all part of, as I said before, chess moves. We are going to manifest some changes in our world. The Magician's about manifesting and doing so with balance. I personally think almost too much consideration has gone into those that aren't awake, but that's not my call to make. Just keep assuring the white hats that if you do it and you speed things up, we will help those that are caught and in consternation at how little they knew. Now, looking ahead, we've got the Empress card showing up here too. Also, she's not as strong as a magician, but she is a major arcana, and she sometimes embodies the earth and humanity for me, and just the epitome of loving maternal energy. Because part of what's going on with our world is going to be getting more back in balance with divine feminine and the divine masculine. So getting our world back in balance is a big part of this, and the court systems are part of it too. In the meantime, right now, it looks like what we have for our judicial system that's most trustworthy is, as 17 has been telling us, military is the only way. Okay. We have, for a little further information, we have the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups, he's willingly, it's a time apart. Okay. There's going to be a little bit of downtime as things change. There is times where the waiting, you just want to hurry up, do it. But there's some waiting involved, and it's for a purpose. As you see here at this card, it looks to me like he's gone off to look for that missing cup. Okay. He isn't happy with just having 80%. He wants more. And certainly for our path for humanity, we want more. We have the Queen of Wands showing up too. Queen of Wands is an optimistic card. Okay. And she is about emotional intelligence and very, very, very independent and blunt, to the point if she needs to be. And so we know we've got some people that have a large public voice that tend to be very blunt, but it's a good energy when they come from that place. And she is a card of accomplishment. So it's going to happen. And I just said that, and here's the Wheel of Fortune showing up. Wheel of Fortune is about change. So our corrupt processes are in the process of being changed, both behind the scenes and ultimately in the public eye. Page of Swords is our final card here. And the Page of Swords is telling us that there's a lot of truth in diplomacy going on. So there's Page of Swords is very perceptive and a card of diplomacy. So there are some people are getting opportunities to right wrongs, to align themselves with truth and justice. And it may not be happening in the public eye, but it is happening. So Mr. Durham seems to have had a couple of court losses, but it's all chess moves. And part of that chess moves may indeed be to have people realize that at the moment, for true justice, our path is with the military. So Mr. Durham does indeed seem to be a white hat, and the actions he's taking have more than an obvious purpose. So I'm going to adopt a wait and see attitude, figure that this is chess and I'm not a great chess player. So I'm just going to watch and see as things unfold what's going on. And as we know, our judicial system needs a lot of cleanup. And if nothing else, these cases are highlighting that. And I think that can be a good thing, because we need to have eyes on situations and know where we need to clean up our compromised systems and our corrupt systems and get her done and get her fixed, and get ourselves back on a great path. So that's it for this video. Before I close shop for the night, I want to thank my new subscribers. I want to thank my resubscribers. And if you've chosen to buy me a coffee, I appreciate that too. Thank you very much. Please don't do it if you can't afford to, though. It's not necessary. I appreciate spiritual and emotional support just as much. I truly do. I'm not, saying that just to sound great. Okay, I mean it. So until next time, thank you very much. Keep your vibration high. Use your critical thinking skills. Hone them just like you would if you were training for a marathon. Same thing with your discernment. Okay, listen to everybody, but know when to go. Not buying that. Not buying that, and not buying that. Okay, that's how we win this. Good night.